Hello, welcome to a Wednesday night chat with Nick. Hello, everybody. New Year is just around the corner. Just got back from dinner. We have guests staying with us for the past few days, and they are leaving tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I will have a live chat Sunday. Okay, I'm not sure. I might not. It's New Year. Who knows? But for now, I don't plan to, but if I have nothing else going on and have some free time, I will have a chat. My plan is to skip the Sunday chat this Sunday just because it's good to have some time off. For those that have been asking me for the past week or so if I have seen the Rogue One, the movie, I did see it back on the day after Christmas, and I posted the review this morning. But now I can discuss that movie in the live chat because I have seen it. I have made my spoiler filled review, so I can talk about the movie. And for those that haven't seen my review, I can talk about it right here, right now. Um, Overall, it was okay. It's too early. The way I feel about movies in general is sometimes things are not as good as I thought it was on second viewing. Hello, the only one, John. And sometimes it is better on second viewing. So, my rating on movies tend to change from, often, especially when a movie is worth seeing the second time. Hello, Monks Den. And this movie is worth seeing the second time for me. I know as in many Star Wars movies, there are plenty of people that are hating on the movie, just like The Force Awakens. You know, I had to laugh because there's something about people that hate Star Wars movies or dislike them. Um, I understand, everybody had their own opinion, but I think Star Wars tend to bring out a lot of people that normally don't have a damn thing to say. There's a lot of people that never comments, never make a video, never do anything on YouTube. But when it comes to Star Wars, everybody seem to have a saying in what they think about the movie. So it is a cultural phenomenon. Hello, Thomas Churchill. Hello, Luther Manning. Hello. Thoughts about Legion. That's a show on Fox, right? Is it out? If it is, then my apology because I have not seen it. I seen the commercial. I have seen the commercial for Legion. I was not aware that they have launched it. If they did, let me know when. Well, if they did, then I will look to see when the showing is so I can at least DVR it so that I can catch it. But I have not seen the show, so I can't really comment with any kind of intelligence. Noah Hawley is a writer. He did Fargo. If that's the case, that could be a good thing. I like Fargo. Batcave, I believe Russell. Hello, B2D. I agree with you. A lot of people, I have yet to meet anyone that thought the first half of the movie was good. I went with three other adults and three kids. Okay, by kids I mean 9 to 12 years old. And the consensus among all six of us is that the first half of the movie was slow. The second half was fun. Okay. I agree with you, Monks Dan. I like it, I would say, much more than Force Awaken. I like it more. because the bad part, of Rogue One is not as bad as the bad part in the Force Awakens. If that makes any sense for me, some of the things I did like about the Force Awakens was so jarring that I really did like them, and I hate them more the more I think about them. So as far as Rogue One, sure there are flaws, just as in any movies. Mind the comics, hello. There are flaws, but the flaws are not so glaringly bad that I detest the movie. Okay, so, and as far as the characters, I heard a lot of complaint about, and even I complained that I wish there was more characters development in some of the characters. Sure, when you have something like 7 different people introduced into the mix in a very short time in order to get going with the story, it's hard to give enough focus on all 7. Okay, so I understand that going into the movie, I understand that, and I felt that the few that they focus on, they could have done a better job. That's my gripes about the not enough development of the Donnie Yen character. Yes, it's Russell. Thank God. I remember seeing one of your video this morning, and the name Russell kind of stick in my mind. There's a couple of Russell on YouTube. Who Dad's Comics is also Russell. So there's a whole bunch of John, whole bunch of Russell, whole bunch of Mike. Believe it or not, I think I'm one of the few Nick in the comic community. So, the I for sure I wish there was more character development, but at the same time, would I mind if the movie is say 15 minutes longer, so that they can? Sure, I would rather have a 15 minutes longer to see those kind of things, but it's not a big deal for me because at the end of the day, this is a suicide mission. Okay. I have heard a lot of people contrasting this movie where this is not a Star Wars movies because they don't have the same kind of characters that you can fall in love with, like Luke and Han Solo. Well, guess what? They don't have the time. They have a one-way mission and die. Sure, the trade-off of a longer movie, to me, if it is what it is, in order to shorten the movie to the 2 hour span and not spend more time in character development, I guess it's okay, because at the end of the day, this is a suicide mission, and I have seen enough suicide mission movies to know that you just don't really need to have so much character development. The robot is nice. One of the things I forgot to mention in my review is the robot. He's nice. He has his moment, but unlike a lot of people that tripping over themselves on how awesome he is, no doubt his death scene, his sacrifice scene is his best moment of the movie, because he understands the gravity of the situation, and but at the same time, let's be real, it's a robot. He has no fear of death. He shouldn't have any kind of so it's nice, but at the same time, unlike a lot of people that, like I said, fall in love with that character and think that he did something heroic, he's a robot. I can't say enough about how much I enjoy his character. I think his death scene is well done, but at the same time, he's a robot. Gumba Yes, and as far as for those that haven't, feel free to jump in there because I think I did a good job of expressing my opinions on what I think about the movie. I thought the music was weak. I wish there was more Imperial March because for me, that's the most memorable piece of music in all of Star Wars movies, the Imperial March. Okay, and I felt that there was a, a lack of that signature music in the movie, and the rest of the music, sure, there are a hint of Star Wars. It sounds okay, but at the same time, I'm just like it's just not memorable, and I don't really want anything new. In all honesty, uh, Key Issue Comics, Robot Lives Matter. He's a robot. He's just a robot. They can reprogram another one. R2D2 and C3PO had changed the way we view robot as if they are some kind of living entity. It's Key Issue Legion FX February. So yes, I definitely want to see it. I like the actor that they cast for Legion. Like I said, so far all I saw is the commercial for Legion, and it looked interesting. Uh, yes, lack of William music, and to me, I don't think it was necessary to be original. I think sure, if you're hired to do the score for Star Wars, you want to stand out, you want to do something that stand out, and But to me, it's not that important. This is a Star Wars movie. There's certain expectation, just like the scroll thing, where somehow they decided that's not important, and almost everyone I know is disappointed that there are no scroll. Yeah, why not? Give the fan what it wants, right? And it's you know the my favorite character of the whole movie is the bad guy. What is his name? Oh man, I can't seem to remember his name. He The first time I saw that actor is in the Netflix show Bloodline. He is fantastic, fantastic in Bloodline. If you have not seen the Netflix show Bloodline, Krennic, yeah. If you haven't seen the show Bloodline on Netflix, there's 2 seasons of it. I highly recommend it. It's a family drama, family drama murder mystery show. It's unbelievable as far as that actor. The first time I ever seen him, and I believe he is Australian. I think I had seen him on some YouTube video where he spoke with an accent, and he sound like an Australian to me. But if it's not, let me know. But he is absolutely fantastic. He has that right demeanor and facial reaction to be a bad guy. He's not really a bad guy in Bloodline. He played a trouble soul in Bloodline, and it just it's in Bloodline. He's a character that you love to hate because he's not mean. It's hard to it's hard to describe his character in the show Bloodline because he's not good, but he's not evil. He's not dumb. He's not smart either, but he's calculated. I mean, he's very complex. That character in the show Bloodline is so complex, and he pulled it off. He made that show great. Okay, the rest of the cast is good. But he stood out. that was he was a pleasant surprise in the show. Ben Mendelsohn, thank you. Unbelievable actor. Okay, and he, like I said, he just have that face that when he has that look that you just, I guess it's hard to explain. For me, at least for me, it's a look that's not, it's not an evil look, it's not a mean look, but it's a look that you should take seriously and should be concerned. I don't have that. I can't play that look. Okay, I can't do it. But so yes, my favorite part of the movie Rogue One is Ben. I thought Ben is probably the best casted actor in the new Star Wars movies, more so than Finn or Rey. I mean, I like Rey, but I also have a lot of problem with Rey as far as her character in Force Awakens. That's why I'm not a huge fan of that movie. But as far as, like I said, the question is, he's gone, right? So we're not going to see Ben anymore in any future movie. So that's too bad because I think he's wonderful. Well, we're coming to the end of the year. Comic wise, I just shot a video that I will load probably tomorrow, where I show a stack of slabs that I plan to get rid of next year, 2017. So if you're interested in what I plan to sell from my collection, tune into that video. Okay, it's Slab Talk episode 15, but it will be called Slab Talk. But will be the next video that's gonna be loaded. I got a bunch of videos. I've been busy making videos, so the next week or so there'll be some good one. Hopefully, sometimes I make a video and I think it's so crappy that I don't bother load them. But I think I have 3 or 4 good ones load up and ready for general viewing. Contest reminder is still open. From what I can tell, there's still not a whole lot of people sign up to play, sadly. Key Issue Comics, I thought you were going to sign up and play. Same thing with you, Evans. But if you are interested in playing the trivia game, go to my sign up video. It's just type in ETA Nick Trivial sign up in the search and it will pop up. Okay, and just go there and make a post that I want to play. Next week I will compile all the people that sign up to play to see if I have enough. I'm looking for at least 8 players. Okay, so if I don't get 8 player, I might not run the contest and wait until I get all 8, because I can't run the contest without 8 players. Luther Manning, when is a duet of you on violin and Dr. Von Schiller on guitar? That, my friend, will not happen. Key Issue, national YouTube TV, dude. It's like 11 viewers. Trust me, it's not big. You will do well, Chaz. Trust me. I think a lot of people are afraid that they won't do well. It's not a big deal. You are not playing against me. You are pairing up against another player. So, who knows what people know, right? It's just, it's all in the name of fun and game. Okay. If you like the prize, certainly sign up for it. And like I said, I'm looking for 8 player, either 8 or 16. We can't have some kind of, I'm trying to do a match up like the Sweet 16, but my dream of having 16 player is out the window because I can't even get eight people to sign up for the game. So for now, I'm hoping to get 8 sometime by next week, so that I can at least do the not the Sweet 16, but the Elite 8. TV Casualty, hello, and hello, Robert Finnefrock. So just a reminder, the trivia game is still up for signing. So if you're interested at all in playing, please sign up because I need 8 players. As far as TV show, I'm not sure. Well, I just saw another show. I just binged through another show earlier this week called No Second Chance, which I will load my review for that series soon. If you saw my review on The Break, the other series, then you might want to see my review on No Second Chance, because that's another crime murder mystery series from Netflix. Netflix is just blowing up with so many series. They're all not great. Okay, some of them are having a hard time. I know a lot of people ask me about what that show, Travelers. A lot of people last chat asked me about Travelers on Netflix. I have watched I believe 5 episodes so far. It's okay. I can talk a little bit about here. My problem so far, it's okay of a show. It's not one of my favorite on Netflix so far. And the problem with me is I watch the show and it feel more like a network show where every episode is a different storyline. It's not, but it feel like every episode is a different I won't say it's a show where you don't have to watch things in sequence to know what's going on. You do need to watch things in sequence, but the way the storyline is, I kind of wish they focus more on the key member of the teams or the members of the team, and not focus too much on the side story or the mission. I'd rather have one big mission than a whole bunch of tiny missions. And hopefully that would change as I watch the remaining half of the season. But I felt that through the first half, there is a whole lot of little side missions that I don't really care for. I am interested in the characters. I'm interested to see how they manage through their secret identities. But as far as the side story, I'm not a big fan of that, because every time a side story or side mission popped up, I feel like it's just not something I care to see. Better Call Saul, yes, I do. I do watch that. That's a fun show to watch. Just like I watch. I followed that show because I was a big fan of Breaking Bad. I enjoy Breaking Bad. So when I heard that they do a Better Call Saul show, I like that character a lot. I think it's one of those unique time where a fun character was able to spin off into his own series and do well. So yeah, it's a fun show to watch. I don't take it seriously. I don't do a review of that series because I like it, but at the same time, it's not compelling or must-see TV, if you know what I mean. It's a fun show to watch for sure. And fun storyline, as far as the top 10 most people wish list for 2017, I am enjoying watching many videos from a lot of people. So Key Chaz, I like to see. I don't think you do any videos so far that show your most wanted books for 2017. So I like to see a video of that if you can. I like to see what you are hunting. Okay, that's so far it's pretty cool to see various videos of the community as far as people, wish list for 2017. I can say that one of the book on my wish list is on its way. It's not gonna be here 2000. It's not gonna be here this week, so it's not gonna make it. Otherwise, it would have been an early book off my 2017 list. But one of them is on its way. I just pay for it today, and hopefully it will be shipped out and it will be here Tuesday, because Monday a holiday, post office holiday. I'm not sure, but it won't be here by Saturday, so it will be 2017. A lot of Russian comic books. I don't think they make comic books over there. Carl on Bass 181. Luther Manning. I have not played the violin. I have not touched the violin. It's a long backstory. Okay, I don't need to go on about what happened, but it's a long backstory where I gave up playing the violin long ago, and I have not touched the violin in a long time, even though many people have nagged me to pick up the violin again. My wife played the violin, okay, and she is so surprised that even though we have been married for 11 years now, that I have not even touched her violin. Okay, so it's, like I said, it's a long personal backstory that you don't need to know, but I gave up playing the violin and vowed never to touch one again. And it's done with. I'm over the violin. Don't miss it one bit. Luther Manning, you know the story. How's that happen? I'm not sure I shared that story with Luther Manning, but unless I don't remember who I shared that private story to, but you understand. But yes, so I am super excited that I got one book off my 2017 list. Super excited. And I'm on. I'm very close to get a couple more actually. So look like just like last year, 2016, the first 3 months of the year, I was able to knock off like 6 or 7 books. It took me the remaining 6 months of the year, I was only able to get like 2, I think. But the first 2 or 3 months, I was like, got like 4 or 5 or 6, half a dozen right away, right off the bat. So seemed like that might happen again this year. I might be able to grab one, at least one, maybe even 2 or 3 the first month. So January could be a big month where I get 3 out of the 10 books, and then it's going to be a struggle to get some of the bigger books. I mentioned it in an old video, really old. I mean, I haven't talked about the story in a long time. But that is it. I have been busy scanning and grading comic books. Brutal. Okay, I'm telling you, one of the reasons why I don't buy a lot of stuff, because over the past year or so, I have come to understand that everything I buy, eventually I have to sell later. Okay, So I selling comic books for me is a hassle. Okay, I'm not, you know, I'm not like the kind of person that sell comic books for a living, that can buy and sell, that sell and scan and pack daily. I can't do that. I have a hard time doing that. So part of my disdain of selling has helped me has helped me not buying so many things, because I just, I have no desire to take anything with me to the grave, none whatsoever. So everything I buy, um, for the majority of them, will be sold eventually, and I'm just too tired to do that. I set out a project over 2 years ago to scan my entire collection. I want to grade and scan everything in my collection so that someday, when it's time to sell, it will be easy, right? And so far, I am about halfway there. Okay. It took me over 2 years to grade and scan 1,500 books. That's not very fast. But at least I feel good about it. Like I said, I look at my shelf, right, and I see, 1,500 books that have been scanned and graded. I felt good because, when a time it come to sell the books, it will be easy peasy, right? Still, the packing, the shipping is still a pain in the royal butt. Chad said, I enjoy being a professional comic book speculation investor. TV Casualty asks, how many long boxes do I own? Um, I don't. I only have 3 long boxes, but I keep my books everywhere. Okay, I have like 3 long boxes, 4 or 5 short boxes, and then I have shelf with many books on the shelf. So, um, if I have to guess, if I put everything in long box, 3,000 comic books would probably take up about 12 long boxes. Okay, so if I transfer everything into long boxes, I'm guessing it would fill up 12 to 13. And don't forget, at one point I had over 13,000 books. At one point I had something like 50 long boxes. Trust me, I did not enjoy having 50 long boxes in this room. Yes, in this room. It was insanity. I hate it. I feel like a hoarder. I can barely get from the door to my chair because there was boxes everywhere. To find a book was brutal. Every time I talk to a friend or trying to sell a book or to look for a book, it was just like so much hassle to dig through all the boxes. And I had enough. And so it has been a long process of weeding down the collection from 13 plus thousand to 3,000 today. That case, they hit 1 long box. Yes, keep it simple, my friend. Keep your collection focused, narrow focus, and you won't hoard a lot of stuff you don't care to have. Okay, I certainly have a lot of stuff that I don't care to have. I had a lot of stuff. I have narrowed down to 3,000, and I will start to sell. I've been selling a lot, and then I pause. Last year was a pause year. Last year I sold the least. Last year I sold the least compared to the previous 5 years. Okay, I sold a lot more the previous 5 years. Last year was the least. And 2017 could be the resumption of me selling more. Okay. Maybe. It's all depend on, time frame. I don't really need the money at the moment, and if I have free time to list the books, then I will do that. But for now, we'll see. I don't have any major plan in 2017 to liquidate three long boxes. Nothing like that now. Somebody asked me about Let's Grumble. Hello. First time joining the chat. Hello, my friend. Yes, begging and boarding and listening to me. Hopefully I don't put you to sleep. Somebody asked about passing on to my son. The only one John asked. As of right now, my son is 9 years old. He has very little interest in comic books and collecting. Okay, if he changed his mind 5 years from now, I would consider keeping a lot of the books for him. But he needs to show me a desire to be a collector. Until that point, I had no plan to pass on my collection to him. At the same time, if I don't need the money, then I don't really need to sell anything. I have told my wife that, as we get older, if we need money to enjoy our retirement year, then I will sell more. I don't need the money right now, so I still enjoy the hobby. I'm still buying, albeit not a lot, right? So we'll see. Within the next 10 years, Anthony need to show me that he want to collect, want to maintain the collection. Then I will keep a lot of the books I still have. If not, over the next 10 years, it will start to go away. What's a good method of downsizing? Thomas Churchill asked. That's a tough question. It's all depend on what you have, okay, and what you want from them. I can tell you, I got rid of 10,000 books, and almost half was given away for free. Okay, a good 4,000 or so books was given away for free. Basically, everything, almost everything I bought from 1988, 89 through 1994 was given away. Okay, so there's like about 6 years worth of books that I literally say, boom, I gave them to strangers. I gave them to my nephew. I gave a whole lot to a person that have a young son that I know that have never read comic book before, and he loved them. So I gave many boxes to him. In fact, I gave that kid. He was 12 years, 10 or 11 years old at the time. I gave him like my entire run of Wolverine. And many things. I gave, a lot of the stuff I bought in the 90s, gone. And then the rest of the stuff I sold in many ways. I slapped a lot of the stuff, auctioned them off. I sold a lot of cheap stuff in lots. When it comes down to stuff, I mean, I am not going to waste my time scanning and grading books that can't even fetch $3 a book. Okay, I have a limit where I'm saying, like, unless a book can fetch more than $3, I am not going to individually sell them. I would rather sell 5 books in a lot for $10 than wasting my time scanning 5 individual books and trying to squeeze an extra buck here or there. So I would rather put 5 books, take a quick pictures, and sold them in lots I sold lots of 5. I sold lots of 10. I sold lots of 15. I sold lots of 20. Trust me, I sold a lot of lots just to get rid of things quickly. I use, Robert Finnefrog asks, I use photo buckets. It has a lot of issues. I'm not a big fan of photo buckets, but I find that over the years, I rely on photo buckets a lot. And at times, it has given me a lot of problems. Sometimes the scan or access to photo bucket doesn't work, but that's my main use. Okay, I deleted a lot of stuff, but I still have a big account in photo buckets with hundreds, if not thousands, of scans in there. When did I decide to stop collecting modern books? That was back in 1994. I bought my first book in 1981, and I was an avid collector and reader, so from 81 through the early 90s. But from 93, I was in grad school in 92, 93. Okay. And I just have less time to read. And I have always been the kind of collectors that go to the store once a week, pick up his stack of books, and then spend the next couple hours reading through them and enjoying them. Then around 92, 93, I start to fall behind. And then by 1994, I had one, if not 2 long boxes of modern stuff that I have not touched. Basically, I pay for them, bring them home. I didn't even bother to bags and board them. I just put them in a long box. That's when I realized it's over. If it's other thing that's more important in life. At the time, career was high in the priority list. Dating, career, personal goals. There's a whole lot of things that took precedent over comic books. And I have always said to myself that if I don't have the time to read them, I'm not going to buy them. So that was my decision then to stop buying them. And I have been grumbling about the high price of comics already by that point. At that point, it was $2 a book. I thought the high cover price was stupid. Yeah, it's the photo buckets had crazy amount. Like I said, I have thousands of scans in there because a lot of it is scan of stuff I sold. Now all the books that I scan, the 1,500 books so far that I scanned from my personal collection, that is in Dropbox. I have not used photo bucket for this remaining part of my collection because I don't want problems. I don't want to lose them with photo bucket or whatever reason. So for now they're not. But whenever I sell something, I tend to use photo bucket. So that's why I still have the photo bucket account, so that when I plan to sell something, I load the picture in there. Batman K said he's only 33 and start collecting 5 years ago. That's okay. It's nothing. We all start somewhere. I started when I was 15. And I'm 50 now. Wow, 35 years. I just realized that. I just realized that I have been collecting comic books now for 35 years. Woo! 15 to 50. Let's Grumble said you spent the first half of your life acquiring, the second half relinquishing. Yes. For some people that's not the case. For some people it is about hoarding and hoarding and hoarding and hoarding. For me, I enjoy the hobby. That's why I'm on YouTube. You know, I wouldn't be enjoying the hobby if I'm not on YouTube making comic book related videos. I enjoy it, but at the same time, um, it's not important. It's fun. Okay, some people ask me about YouTube and making videos, and I always said that if it was not fun, I wouldn't be doing it. Okay. Israel Decoy asked, do you own any Amazing Fantasy 15? The answer is yes. I have owned multiples. Yes, multiples. 15 is kind of late for most collectors. Mars Bringer of Comics said. Well, Mars, I agree, but let's not forget, I came to America when I was 14. So 1 year later, I collect comic books. So I would say that I am pretty early. I have heard a lot of people say, "Oh, you didn't start to buy a book until 1981." I'm just like, I can't help it. I didn't come to America until 1980. If I was born in America in 1966, as I am, I think I would have been buying early Bronze Age right away. It's just that I didn't come to America until 1980, so I didn't have a choice. Yes, I have seen Captain Strange Life Basement, and my room is nothing like that. I have no desire to have books piling up all around me. No desire whatsoever. Legion 1937 said that I'm 51 and been collecting since 1974. Yeah, I start to read for I'm not sure if he's still here. There is a new subscriber that I had. Let's see, who was it that was here early? Mind the Comics, a new YouTuber. So for those that have not subscribed to Mind the Comics, he's fairly new. Well, he's very new. But my first comic book that I read was around 1970 when I was 4 years old. My dad was a big collector. He collected Belgium books like, Smurf, Asterix and Obelix, Lucky Luke, Tintin, so yeah, so I was exposed. So I love comic books before I have ever seen American comic books. So it's not a surprise that, I came to America and start to collect comic books literally a year later. Monks then said, I start collecting in the 90s. Yeah, the 90s, I wouldn't say it's the worst decade. In hindsight, it seemed odd. It's an odd decade, but there's some good stuff that came out in the 90s. It's the 90s got a lot of bad rap. Okay, the 90s got a lot of bad rap, but as bad as the 90s were, is today any better? With the deluge of variant on a weekly basis. Yes, as many people has posted in the chat, I had stop and go 3 times. I went from 81 to 94, and then I stopped cold turkey for a long time. From 94 to 99, for those 5 years, I was my whole world was about career, business, dating, all that stuff. Comics did not even enter my thoughts. My collection stayed in the closet. I never even bothered to open and look at anything. Out of sight, out of mind. I didn't even bother to visit a shop for 5 years. I did not even step foot in a comic shop for 5 years. And then eBay, 1999, I'm back with a vengeance. I have told this story many times, so pardon me if you have heard it a million times. But for those newer participants on the live chat, perhaps they have not heard the story. But eBay, the creation of the internet, brought me back in a vengeance. I opened my eBay account in early 1999, and I went crazy. From 1999 to 2003, I bought thousands, thousands of books. Okay, thousands. On top of that, I bought many collections, anywhere from 5,000 books to 1,000 books. I bought crazy. It was insane. Okay, that's the most insane of 4.5 or so years of me collecting, because it was pure back issue buying. And for those that was around on eBay in 1999 to 2003, oh my God, dirt cheap. To answer your question, who was it? Somebody was asking. Yes, Batcave. Batcave was asking. It was, things was so much cheap. I was buying high grade stuff, high grade Silver Age stuff for nothing. I didn't collect Golden Age books at that point. At that point of my collecting cycle, I was still a high grade snob. So, when I look at Golden Age books and they like all beat up, I mean, I've grown to appreciate and love them over the past 5 years. But back in 1999, 2000, I'm just like, if it's not near mint, I don't want it. Sound crazy, but that's how I built my collection. I didn't have a collection of high grade books if I was not being a high grade snob. Let's see. I'm trying to keep up with all the posting here. It's kind of hard. Cosiconic Point say, if you start collecting back in the 70s, you would have high grade AR-15. I probably would, because even if I was, I have been blessed with having good jobs. I mean, I made a lot of money with my profession in the 90s. That's how I was able to buy a lot of stuff. And I own a lot of big books. I own the only Marvel keys I did not own in those days were Hulk 1. For some reason, Hulk 1 was not on my radar for the longest time. But as far as Amazing Fantasy 15, I have told this story many times. I had an Amazing Fantasy 15 6.5. I had that, sold that for a lot lower. Trust me, what I sold the 6.5 for was a third of what it is today. Okay, trust me. Yes, hindsight is 2020. Who would have thought that an Amazing Fantasy 6.5 can fetch $50,000? What? Mind the Comics. Yes, I agree with you about how diversified comics is today. It's a good thing. I think that's why I don't think the hobby is near death, because there are a wide variety of genre, which is a good thing. I'm not collecting or buying modern books, so I can't say with certainty that something is awesome or not. But at the same time, it broadened the reader's base. Okay, the reader's base back in the 60s, 50s, even the 70s and 80s are very narrow. You got hardcore fanboy superhero. Okay, it's a lot, but it's very narrow. and then you start to see the little trending out of the adult title with Vertigo and Swamp Thing, and it's so tiny. Okay, so tiny back in the 90s. Today it's all kinds: supernatural, crime detective, sci-fi, fantasy. It's much broader today than ever, which is a good thing, I mean, and the way the business is structured, the business model that is structured today with a high cover price, it allow many small titles to survive and exist. I mean, back in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s, there is no way you can have any title that print 150,000 copies a month to survive. Even 200,000 might not be sufficient to not get canceled, right? Today, you have a whole lot of many independent books that have 20,000 monthly circulation, and they strive. They do well. They're able to pay the creators enough to keep making them. So it's an entirely different business model today than the previous 50 years of the hobby. Uh, I think European stuff is decreasing in quality now because the American market recruit artists very quickly. I did not know that. I'm a big fan of European talents. I'm a big fan of non-US talent. Is to me, at least from my eyes through the years of looking at European or non-US based comic books, it's just a different visual look to the art style, which I like. I'm a big fan of that. So I just look at the time, it's 8:02, so the 1 hour is up. But I can carry on a little bit longer. Okay, so unless there's nothing left, then I will end the talk. TV Casualty said that he loved 90s Valiant comics. I have 4 long boxes of them and multiple of golds. Yeah, I mean, if you have all those Valiants, then you might be in luck because now Valiant might be hot. Who knows how well the properties will be received on the big screen? You might be sitting on a pot of gold. How do I feel about Marvel Legends figures? I do not collect them. You're talking about, I think you're not talking about figures. Correct me if I'm wrong. Legion 1937 said Marvel refused to invent new names for characters. Do we need Batcave? Good night. He's in the UK, I believe. So yes, time for him to say good night. I think when it comes down to Marvel and DC, the biggest problem they have is that, and I don't blame them. Okay, on this is that there's a lot of people that would say there's a lot of complaint that they lack originality as far as Marvel and DC. That's why they need to reboot, rehash all these things. And in many ways, I don't like that either. But that has been that way since the 90s. It's not as if like Marvel ran out of stories or originality this decade. No, they have run into these issues back in the 90s. Okay, and in many ways, it's hard to be to introduce new things or fresh things after 40 years. I understand it. I understand that the longer you've been around, the tougher it is to come up with new, exciting ideas. And the example that I brought up time and time and time again is the iPhone. Do you all remember when the iPhone, the very first version of the iPhone hit the market many years ago, over 10 years ago? It was mind blowing, right? Mind blowing. The iPhone, the first version of the iPhone is amazing, mind blowing. You can swipe thing, you can, oh my God, no button. Now, after 7 generations of iPhone, is it amazing anymore? Does it wow you that the iPhone 7 can do this or that? Not really. That's the trouble with anything. When you're talking about Marvel and 30 years of history, eventually you will run out of stories. I hate to say, some people would disagree with what I say. Okay, I'm not surprised. I will not be surprised if some people would disagree with that. My opinion is that it's not shocking or surprising to me to see both Marvel and DC running out of good ideas for the past decades, because it's hard to be original, it's hard to be exciting after 30 years. The legend is here. Hello, legends. Legends always trying to help me with the thumbs up. Legends, let me know if you have a selling show. I have been out the loop. I have some slab I would like to sell, and I am considering using, go to your live auction show to sell some of these slabs. Maybe, the thing is, I seem to have a hard time staying up. I'm an old man. I go to bed early. But if you do, let me know when the next live show is, and I will see if I can participate. Okay? Let me know. Yes, I have a dozen or so slabs that I would like to sell, and if I can make them available for the YouTube community, I would give it a shot. Normally, I would consign them to Comic Link and be done. It's easier for me to put 12 slab into a big box and ship them to Comic Link and have them do all the scanning, listing, selling, collecting money. Yes, it's easier. I don't mind giving them 10% commission to do that for me. Yes, mind the comics. I understand. I understand, Legion. I understand. I understand your point of view. My answer to you is, I I think it's not that they can't come up with something original. It's just hard. It's darn hard to be original with any, even storyline. It's after 30 plus years, it is darn hard. And I'm no great writers. Okay, I'm very nitpicking when it comes down to movies and the stories. And for those that watch my movie reviews, I usually nitpick the heck out of many movies. And some of my friends would tell me that, Nick, you're not that great of a writer, so why are you being so picky? You don't need to be a good writer to tell a good story, to know if this is a good story or a bad story. Okay. Gwenpool, yes, Spider Gwen. Yeah, I am with you. I am with you. I thought the whole idea behind Gwenpool, Spider Gwen, all that stuff, it's just a whole lot of nonsense. A whole lot of nonsense. But like I said, when you run out of ideas, when you run out of gimmick, You gotta do something. Anyhow, I think it's time for me to go. Let's Grumble. Before I go, I have one more comment from Let's Grumble. Creators don't want to introduce new characters through DC or Marvel. Since they would lose control, there's nothing new except our favorite characters are now female. Yeah, that's partially true. Partially true. For those that understand the way Marvel and DC work, the structure of royalty and ownership is still not, like if you go to Image, right? But the problem is, maybe I would say this for another discussion. I have had a lot of debates over the years with many of my friends about, who is more deserving as far as ownership and benefits of. At the end of the day, if you work for Marvel, if you sign the dotted line, especially in the modern age, I'm not talking about Jack Kirby if the 60s or 70s. You're talking modern age, and there is no mystery, right? And if you don't want to create a character for Marvel because you don't want to share, then go ahead and go to Image and create your book. The reason why there's a lot of people that would say, I'm not going to create something new for Marvel and DC because, of the royalty or ownership, right? Well, guess what? Then you go to Image and create that. And guess what? You're not going to have 50,000 hardcore superhero fanboy that will buy your books. The sad truth is, you can go to Image, create some kind of Solar Boy, whatever, and nobody will buy it. Okay, so it's a give or take thing. You need the fan base of a certain company to sell your books. So if you're gonna ignore that fan base and go, even if you create a character, for hypothetically speaking, okay, you create a new villain, Solar Monkey, and you don't want to create it for Marvel because Marvel don't give you enough a piece of pie. Well, guess what? If Solar Monkey is supposed to be introduced to fight Spider-Man, you think that he will be a more popular character fighting some no-name superhero in an Image title, or be a Spider-Man villain? It's a give or take thing. Every time I hear a creator say, "Oh, I'm not going to do this for this company," well, guess what? Then go create your characters for some independent title that nobody give a shit, right? At the end of the day, even the Todd McFarlane, even the Jim Lee out there will tell you they was the most famous when they were drawing Marvel characters, not Wetworks. Good night, fellas. Hopefully that makes sense of my rambling and yambling. As a reminder, I don't think I will do a Sunday chat this Sunday because of the New Year thingy. So if I don't see you, have a happy and safe New Year. Okay? Don't drink and drive. Party safely. And I will see you next Wednesday. 2017, here we come. Bye-bye.